Brake torquing it a little bit. Woo! Oh! Oh my God, this thing is fast. What is up, guys? My name is A8 Reviews. Yes, I'm standing right next to the 2020 Ford Explorer ST. This is the newest ST vehicle to get that nameplate. And we're gonna see if this thing is really good and worthy of that ST badge. So first off, I want to give a very huge shout out to New Holland Ford here in New Holland, Pennsylvania for allowing me to come out and also get to drive the Explorer ST and review it for you guys today. I will also leave all their contact information down below for you guys so you guys can check out and buy some Fords. They got a nice Raptor sitting right in behind this ST. They got this blue ST that I'm reviewing and a black one over there with 20 inchers. But it's all about the blue one today. So let's get on with the review. So let's have a little bit of a history lesson on the 2020 Explorer. I first will apologize for all the noise because this is a very heavily traveled section of New Holland, but I'll make do with the voice recordings that I have on my phone. So the Explorer's been out for many years. This is Ford's midsize SUV, and this is the newest Explorer, the 2020 version, and it finally goes back to a rear-wheel drive layout. The previous generation had a front drive layout, and definitely a lot of people were looking for the rear wheel drive layout that you could see on many of the other crossovers and SUVs like this, like the Dodge Durango. And guess what? The 2020 Explorer returns with a rear wheel drive layout. Absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Explorer. So up front, you get a look that is very reminiscent of the previous generation Explorer, and it also definitely is easily distinguishable as one. But here, for this new generation of the Explorer, the headlights kind of wrap into the grille. And since this is the ST model, you get the moniker here, and you also get this black mesh grille as well. You get LED fog lights down here, as well as LED low beam headlamps as standard, and an LED turn signal here with the accent strip right above. You also get this Explorer badge that is extended out through the hood, so you definitely see that on the Kia Telluride. Honestly, the front end to me on the new Explorer, it's still taking a little bit for me to get used to. I don't like how the headlights kind of extend into here. I wish it was kind of more blocked off, but definitely the ST dresses this thing up and makes it look really nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the side profile now. So coming around to the side of the Explorer, you can definitely see where most of the changes are. You can see it's a lot more blocky and streamlined. You can see that this kind of does have a little bit of a tapering roofline, which I think is honestly a very nice touch. But you can definitely see now that this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, because if you look up front here, you can see this big, gigantic 21-inch wheel. Yes, that's right, 21 inches wrapped in 275s all around. And you can definitely see that this has got a very broad and long front end. But definitely the side view is somewhat my favorite of the new Explorer. But the one thing I do have to say that I really don't like about it is that blocky front end. It looks like it got smushed like it did in a crash. But anyway, I'd say the Explorer looks the best around the side because you got this huge body line that actually comes from a small like curvature, and then it comes and it starts to form a very hard crease coming back past the taillight all the way through the back. Also, with the 21-inch wheels, you get red painted calipers. That's cool. And also the trim over here gets blacked out. And you also now have the Explorer engraved into the bottom of the door sill. Also on the ST models, you get a black mirror housing with LED turn signals integrated. And you also get these black roof bars that are also they look pretty aerodynamic. Definitely Fords are known for kind of having simple roof rails and such, but I'm glad that Ford decided to actually make this a little bit more aerodynamic. But definitely you can see where this actually kind of cuts down through here. I'm honestly wondering if Ford would ever add an option for a black roof, because if you kind of see this, like you see this little disconnection in this C-pillar, I wonder if they'll ever make a black roof option for the Explorer. I think it would look pretty cool. Personally, Ford should do it. So, hey Ford, maybe try that out. And also the Explorer also continues with this black A-pillar here. It definitely makes it look like it's disconnected from the actual car, and it makes it look like it's got a floating roof. Honestly, I love that design touch. It's definitely very nice. Also, Ford's pioneered this Securicode thing, the Securicode keypad, that instead of it being on the door, it's pretty much just like Land Rover's kind of layout, where you can stick the key in the car and you can lock it in there. With Ford, you can stick the key inside the vehicle, and if you have a certain passcode to the car, you just input it in here to lock it, and you can throw your keys in there and you can walk away, not having to worry about someone breaking into your car or having to take the keys with you in case you go out to the beach or something like that. So with Fords, they are very huge on their easy fuel capless fuel filler. Ford, you are awesome for pioneering this, because you don't have to fiddle around with a gas cap, and you don't also have to worry about the check engine light. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the Explorer, because that's where the biggest change has happened. Coming around back of the 2020 Explorer, this is definitely where the biggest change is of the new generation Explorer. These are LEDs, the brake lights are LEDs, as well as an incandescent turn signal, and backup light is also incandescent. That is the newest piece of the Explorer. And also you can notice quad exhaust tips, but there's one thing. Ford's joining that industry of fake exhaust tips, but one thing's for sure, Ford is actually really inventive with their fake exhausts. Because if you look, there's a little tiny thing in here that actually curves downward. They put the exhausts coming out from here, because then your exhaust tips won't get black like they do on the Fusion titaniums. You also get a tow hitch here, because this Explorer is rated to tow 5,600 pounds. 600 pounds more than the previous generation. And also, since it's rear drive, it's also going to tow a lot better. Now the ST, I believe, is the only one to get the quad exhaust tips. And you also get these blacked out pieces here, and you also get the Explorer badge here. You get this pretty nice looking body colored spoiler here. And the Explorer also retains its actual pretty well straightened out rear hatch as well. So that definitely will boost cargo capacity, but we'll get into that later. You get this huge ST badge right here as well, and you also get this black piece here. So let's go ahead now and let's actually take a look at the interior. So jumping into the new Explorer, here is the key fob for the Explorer ST. You can see the ST badge is on the back of the key fob, and you can see that this is also pretty much Ford's standard key fob. They've been using it for a couple years. It's starting to kind of get dated, but it feels very nice, very high quality. It's got just pretty good heft, and I really like that. And you also get remote start. So what you do, lock it, press the remote start button twice, and it instantly, literally instantly, starts up. It's like half a second and it starts up. It is so fast. Ford, I don't know how you make the car do that so quick. But to turn it off again, just push the button once again. And since this has keyless entry, just put your key fob in your pocket, come up to the door handle. There's this little pad right here, and it's very sensitive. So like, you can literally push right there to lock it. There's this little key thing here. Press that and it locks it. Electric mirrors fold. Ford does a sensor behind the door to open it. And I'm surprised the electric mirrors have not folded out yet. So opening the door. Holy black. I hope you like it because that's the only choice for the Explorer ST. And you can see that this interior is completely redesigned. You got this new ST steering wheel. You also get a 8-inch touchscreen there. The mirror is just unfolded. And you also get a really nice looking interior with an LCD cluster display. I don't remember how big the size is. It might be about 10 inches or so. I'll have to let you guys know. But definitely the Explorer is looking good in here. So stepping inside of the Explorer, you can definitely feel that it's got a lot of ground clearance. It has 7.9 inches of ground clearance minimum. And I believe the ST might get actually a raised suspension, but it's also got an adaptive suspension, so that's very nice. Now closing the door. Honestly, the body shakes just a little bit, but I can definitely say that this sounds pretty darn solid. Anyway, let's go ahead and start up the Explorer because it is absolutely bonkers hot out here. So all you have to do is make sure the key fob's in your pocket and just push the start button right up here. Now first thing you're gonna see is this 8-inch touchscreen here. The Platinum models get a 10.1-inch portrait style touchscreen. And honestly, I do not like that because it extends way too far up and it kind of looks like it impedes view. I like this 8-inch better. I wish Ford would have actually made the 10.1 longer instead of putting it portrait style, because with the 8-inch you get this little cubby here. The 10.1 you don't get it at all. So this is a new location for the start button, which is actually right here, which honestly, that's kind of weird for a place to put that, but I definitely can see why Ford did that. So coming over here, like I said, it's Ford's new infotainment, or not infotainment, digital instrument cluster. It's got a bunch of options. You can scroll through to see your tire pressure, your intelligent four-wheel drive, because this is four-wheel drive standard on the ST model because it's got freaking 400 dang horsepower. You can go to off-road status where you can see actually if your wheel is turned, and it goes up to 32 degrees turn. You can see there. You can also see if it rocks side to side and such. Go down here to your fuel economy. You can also go back to your trip meter. You can go to your reset and you can see all sorts of things. You can show your display setup and such. And definitely this is actually a really nice gauge cluster. It's a little tiny bit laggy, I will say, but Ford did a really nice job of actually making this pretty smooth. Now watch. The refresh rate's a little bit slow, especially on the tachometer, but it's pretty good. I actually like it. Going around the interior materials, let's start on the door, soft touch here. It's got this kind of, I guess it's leather or leatherette, and it's really soft. Padded center armrest here. You got this door, it's pretty beefy and heavy. You got your hard touch plastics and even more storage down here. Coming over to the dashboard, it's soft touch up here, but it kind of feels, I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but it feels very hollow. Ford should have done a little bit more in the way of strengthening this up a little bit to actually make it not feel like it's hollow, but I bet nobody's really going to be up there touching it. Coming over here, it's surprisingly soft touch in this area right above the glove box. I was not expecting that. Ford, good job for actually making this thing soft touch here. You also get this kind of, I don't know if you want to call it faux carbon fiber or black trim, I'm not exactly sure. Coming over here, you got your volume knob and your tune knobs. Here is where I actually really love the Explorer, because you can push this button, comes up with the cameras, there's your hazards, you got your park assistance system off, your parking sensors and such. Over here you got tri-zone climate control, guys. On the ST model, you get ventilated seats, as well as a heated steering wheel and heated seats. And I really like the way that this is laid out. I like the little toggle switch. It feels very high quality. It doesn't wiggle around very much. Everything feels very nice in here. And I definitely really love the ventilated seats. Also, coming over here now, to open this cover, you push that button and it pops open. And you get a pretty deep cubby in here as well, with a 12-volt power port, one USB port, one USB-C. And also, Ford designed this, that this little piece here, you're supposed to be able to hook up your phone, because this has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as standard, and you're supposed to be able to hook your phone up and through here and put it right here and close this cover without even needing to, you know, fiddle around with things. You got two decent sized cup holders. They fit these very tiny 8 fluid ounce water bottles. Here you have Ford's really nice rotary dial shift knob. You just put your foot on the brake and you turn it to everything. Manual's in the middle. And also, it's got a lockout feature where if you open the door while you're in drive, it will automatically rotate itself back to park. I don't know if you guys saw that too. Let me put it in manual mode. Watch the actual knob. That is a really nice touch. I was really surprised to see that. Here you got an electronic parking brake. You can pull it up and then it says parking brake on. You got automatic brake hold. You have auto start stop here, as well as your parking assistance system. Turn your traction control off, which honestly, this is the sound it makes, which is kind of a little bit laughable. Then you also have hill descent control, and you also get drive modes. So let's go the whole way over to the one on the right, or the left. You got tow haul mode, you got sport mode, eco, normal, slippery, trail, as well as deep snow and sand. Let's go back to sport mode. Sport. The gauge cluster is pretty laggy, like I said, but it's nice. I like how the actual gauge cluster lights up as you go throughout the rev range, which is really nice. You have your digital fuel readout here, as well as the engine temperature, as well as your miles per hour and your tachometer there. Looking at the steering wheel, this is an all-new 3-spoke design. It's a D bottom steering wheel. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, so I'll still call it a D. It's got very aggressive sport grips up here at the top, and it's also perforated leather because it is heated. You have your safety controls here, as well as your cruise control, your adaptive cruise. You got your volume buttons here as well, and you have your little buttons over here as well to control this little LCD here. You got your voice activation and your phone pickup and hang up buttons that double up as your skip buttons. You got the ST badge down here. This center hub here feels nice. It's got a decent horn. That sounds very manly. But anyway, coming over here, very soft padded armrest, and you get this really deep. Also, a wireless charging pad is available on the Explorer ST, and it does charge my Samsung Galaxy S10e. So the glove box is damped, extremely damped, but it is not lined with felt. It's a pretty good size. I do believe though that it might not be able to fit a tablet computer in there. It probably will though. because knowing me, I like to overestimate and guess things. But anyway, these are 8-way power adjustable seats, and they are very comfy. They are very bolstered. You get 2-way lumbar though, which I honestly wish it would be 4-way, because honestly, I'd like to have a little bit more of a, you know, a little bit more adjustment, and I would like to have the lumbar come up just a little bit. Also, I would love to see the inflatable, or not inflatable, side bolsters, adjustable ones. But yeah, coming back to the steering wheel feels very nice. It is very, very communicative when it steers. It's got just the right amount of heft. Also, you get these paddle shifters. They feel kind of plasticky. And I noticed when I sometimes would lightly push on them, they kind of creak and rattle. But you got to kind of give something up for parts quality. Also, something that I'm really surprised about, the Explorer ST comes with a power tilt telescopic steering column. I'm really surprised that Ford decided to do such a thing like this, because literally that's really only reserved for like the Platinum model. And coming over here, you got a pretty decent sized rear view mirror. I wish it was frameless, but hey, I'll still take it. You got HomeLink up here. Let's see if it passes the visor test. 1, 2, 3. It passes the visor test. Surprisingly, it fits almost the whole window, which is pretty unique. Here you can look at yourself. I'm very ugly, but you got LED lights on the side here. Coming over here, you got your sunglass holder. Here you have the controls for the dual panoramic sunroof, which is actually the largest that Ford has ever made. So you can do that and also pull. It is super enormous. And it opens up really wide. And then you get this little cover here as well. But let's close that because it's absolutely massively hot. And it's a little bit finicky to use, but it's best for you to kind of hold it down. But as you can see, ST badge engraved into the seats. But so far the interior is looking really good. Let's go ahead and jump into the back, and let's see how this thing fits me. So getting into the rear of the Explorer, you can definitely see that the rear wheel drive layout, I think, might have cut down a little bit of legroom. I still have about maybe an inch or two left of legroom, but these seats slide. So if I slide the whole way back, I still got plenty of room yet. I'm 6'2.5" to about 6'3", and I have about a hand's width of room. You get your tri-zone climate control, like I said, back here. It's only hot and cold. You don't get AC in the back here, which I wish that Ford would have done that. Also, you get heated seats in the back. I wish Ford would have actually included ventilated, because that would have been a very great value proposition. I don't know if that actually comes with the Platinum model, but I will definitely have to let you know. So again, shutting the door. It sounds very tank-like. It don't sound right because the door rattles. Since this is one of the first developing, or first to be sold, it'll probably get a little bit better as it goes on. But hey, guess what? Hey guys, I'm ugly. I don't want you to see me. This thing has peasant blockers. Yes. Thank you, Ford, for including that. Again, materials. Soft touch. Very thick and padded. You get a cup holder right here, and you get more storage space down there as well. The power windows, I forgot to mention up front, they're only auto up-down for the front only. The backs only get the up and down, and they go the whole way down, which is absolutely amazing. Now, the Explorer was designed, again, with the tri-zone climate control. There's an air vent right up here, and there's also air vents in the back and behind the actual panoramic moonroof here. And honestly, I'm glad that Ford decided to put vents back here like this. They could have honestly put it on the B-pillar, but I can understand them not wanting to do that because of practicality reasons. And also, the Explorer only comes in I believe, it comes in only a 6 or 7-seat passenger configuration. It doesn't come with 8. I think you can get a bench seat for here, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but I will definitely read upon that. Jumping over to the other side, where I have the seat pretty much in the same position over here, but the seat back is all the way back in its tracks. Still have about 1.5 inches of leg room, and I've still got very much a lot of headroom. I have about a fist's worth. You also get more storage down here. You have 2 more cup holders over here, a place to store some phones and stuff, and some of your useless junk. And you also have fold down center armrests here that are very soft. And also, Ford is also pioneering a decent technology. To get into the back, you got to push this little button here and pull the seat forward. It leaves a decent bit of space. But the sad thing is that if you plan on having a child seat here, you cannot keep it here. It has to come out in order for you to do that. So you're going to have to make do with either getting on the other side or put the kids in the back. Getting again into the 3rd row, there's a button up here on top that you can push, and it will actually fold the seat forward. Like I said, you cannot keep a child restraint on here. So getting in here, there's a pretty wide opening, but my size 12 feet do not like to fit in there. But sitting in back here and pulling the seat back, I could actually fit back here pretty well. I have actually a little bit more room than the front, but there's one thing I do have to show you guys, and I'm going to pull the seat forward again so you guys could see it a little better. Coming over to the passenger side, where that seat is pretty much all the way back in its tracks, I'm having a lot of trouble actually fitting back here. I have barely any foot space at all, and knee space is also very tight. And also, the seat back is also really far up, or the seat back is very flat. You can easily see all this here. I wish Ford would have actually made these seats a little bit higher up, but I still have actually plenty of headroom. I've got just over 4 fingers, so I probably have about 2 to 3 inches. These seat backs, I believe, recline. I don't see a mechanism to do that. Well, that pulls down the head restraint. Yeah, I don't see a mechanism to actually pull the seats backwards. I'm not sure if it comes with it. But, yeah, like I said, you get the air vents up here as well. And you also get this little toe strap that actually also pulls down and also pulls the seat forward, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look in the back. Can you guys see it's a little bit tight for me to get out? Definitely those tip and slide seats will definitely help. So Ford, please bring those to this Explorer. So opening the trunk up to the Explorer ST, you can use it with the button on the key fob, or you can stick it in your pocket and you can swing your foot under the bumper and it will open up immediately, which I honestly think is very cool. And what you'll find is 18.2 cubic foot of storage space. That's less than the previous and outgoing model because Ford retained the power folding rear seat backs. Yes, you heard that right. Ford is retaining those power folding rear seat backs. They fold and they also come up. Now, if you're trying to fold the seats down real quick and you need to fold the head restraints down, just pull on this little lever and they fold right on down. Push that to fold them down. Once you do that, once you fold those seats down, you get 47.9 cubic foot of storage. Now, what happens if you fold the second down? Well, it's kind of a challenge, I think. You go around the side and pull that off, then you get 87.9 cubic foot of storage. That's pretty good. You can open this up and get a pretty decently deep storage cubby there. This piece is also removable, but it's quite heavy. The Explorer does come with a temporary spare tire. Thank you, Ford, for putting a temp in there so much. Also, you get little cargo covers here that expose these little covers in here. Also, these things don't kind of latch on right. But anyway, you get cargo hooks here and here. You also get 2 more up there, and so on and so forth. But literally, ow! I almost fell over, guys. That's how dumb I am. Surprisingly, I actually fit back here. I would want to move the actual seat backs forward in second row. Oh, by the way, it does come with it. I love that. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's pull these seats back up. And let's go ahead and take a look at the powertrain. So getting under the hood of the Explorer, this is kind of new. To pull the hood latch, you have to pull it twice. Because if you saw, it opened it partially when I hit it once, and I pulled it twice to get it to open. So this generation of the Explorer gets a whole bunch of different engine choices. And I'm really surprised to see a prop rod. And there's no metal part, so this thing's going to get pretty damn hot pretty damn quick. Since this is the ST model, this is the 3-liter twin turbocharged twin scroll turbo EcoBoost V6, 400 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 415 pound-foot of torque at 3,500 RPM. That's an increase of 365 horsepower and I think maybe 350 pound-foot of torque, I believe. I know it's a pretty wealthy gain. Compression ratio is a very, very low 9.5 to 1, so this thing is really quick. This is hooked up to 4-wheel drive only. You cannot get rear-wheel drive, guys. And this is also hooked up to a 10-speed automatic transmission straight out of the F-150 and the Ranger as well. Fuel economy is not been done yet, but Car and Driver estimates it at 17 city, 23 highway. This thing is about 4,350 pounds, which is actually pretty good considering this is a pretty bulky mid-size SUV. And 0 to 60 is actually said to be 5 seconds. That is insane for a freaking SUV like this. Imagine chucking a nearly 4,500 pound SUV down a road 5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. That's insane. I mean, what the heck, Ford? But also, if you guys don't want all the performance of the ST, you guys do have 2 other engines available. So now that we're looking at the powertrain and we're all done with that, let's go ahead and talk about safety, because the Explorer is definitely one of the biggest and most improved as far as safety. So on the safety forefront, the Ford Explorer jumps miles ahead of its predecessor. You get Ford Copilot 360 standard. And that includes blind spot information system, rear view camera, a lane keeping system, as well as automatic emergency braking and automatic high beam headlamps. Available on the XLT and standard on the ST Limited and Platinum, you get Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus. That adds intelligent adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane centering, traffic sign recognition, and evasive steering assist, which will actually take the car and it will steer you out of a collision if it needs to, and if it is safe to do so, and you have multiple lanes open. So if it believes it can't actually stop itself, it will yank yourself over so you actually miss the car in front of you. And that's honestly something that really many cars need to have. I would actually spring for the Copilot 360 Assist Plus on any of the models, even the even the XLT, go for it, because it's going to add so much more safety features for you and your family. But also you get front and rear parking sensors and active park assist 2.0. So now that we are done looking at the safety, let's go take this thing out for a spin. This is a first, going out by myself. This is a surprise, but anyway. Alrighty, so first setting off in the Explorer. This thing actually is really nice. I know it's a rear-wheel drive layout, but so far it's driving really nice. The brakes are really, really firm, and I do like that. So I'm in normal mode right now, just cruising along. The transmission's very, very soft, and it's really good. So far, so smooth. It's really nice in here. I'm enjoying the actual cooled seats. Or, it's either ventilated or it's cooled. I see a fan, so setting off in here, it's actually really quiet. I really like what Ford did with all the sound deadening, and the 2020 Explorer is definitely quiet. This 10-speed is really quick to shift. One thing's for sure, I'm gonna be feeling some real hard performance with this dang thing. We are almost at the spot. Let's click it into manual mode. Alrighty, here we go. Gonna brake torque it a little bit. Whoa! Holy! Holy! This thing is fast! Oh my god! This thing threw me hard back into the seat. Wow! Ho ho ho! This thing is fast! Let's do this again. Let's turn off traction control. Brake torquing it a little bit. Woo! Oh! Oh my god, this thing is fast. Oh, this has to easily be the second most fastest car I've ever driven. Let me see what time. 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds. That's good. Wow. This thing has got torque for days. This thing will get you into a lot of trouble. Okay, one thing I gotta say, the downshifts are not very smooth. Wow, this thing hauls ass. I am so not used to the size of this car, but this thing handles like it's nothing. Wow, this thing is fun. The steering is very direct. I do have to say there's a little bit of play in the steering wheel before something happens, but it's actually really controlled and it's very good. Throwing it around the turn. Damn. Torque vectoring in there. This thing is fun. Oh my god. I have to say, this has to be probably one of the most fun to drive SUVs I've ever driven in my life. This thing handles. Wow. I'm sorry, this thing is just too much fun. Oh my God. Ford, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but holy Christ, I love this thing. Oh my God, this smile's not gonna stop. Oh my God, I love this thing. This thing is so nice. I really love this thing. It's smooth, it's comfortable. I love the ventilated seats. This thing is gonna get me into trouble. This thing is gonna get me into so much trouble. Why are we stopping? I gotta say, this Explorer ST definitely blew my expectations out of the water. Oh my God, this thing is so much fun. I always thought Fords were very kind of, you know, mundane SUVs. But when I stepped into this thing, I kind of had very little, you know, expectations with this thing. But holy shit, this thing is so much fun. I love this thing. Yeah, it's going to keep on doing that. I guess. Yes, I know. Okay, shut up. Let's do this again. Okay, shush.